Hi everyone, welcome to the Triple Point channel. If this is your first time on our channel, please don't forget to subscribe. The subscription button is on the bottom right of the video. Thank you for supporting the channel as you subscribe. Today we're going to be having a conversation around how to use a calculator, a scientific calculator. Calculator is one of the very handy device for students, high school students, young university graduates, or even workers in the labor market, in the working environment. We always have calculator handy to do some quick operations as time needs, as the demand arises. And this video is just to take us through some operators and operations possible with a scientific calculator. I'm going to be showing you the functions on the calculator. I'm going to be showing you some operators and operations possible, addition, square roots, division, inverse, trigonometry, and I'm going to be discussing all possible functions on a scientific calculator. So what is a calculator basically? It's a simple device used to estimate quickly some mathematical operators. So you want to do some addition quickly, you want to do some multiplication, you want to square something, you want to find the inverse of something, or you want to find the trigonometry value of an angle. You could just quickly pick up your calculator and get it sorted. If you don't want to go via the manual route, where you have to, for example, trigonometry, if you want to find what sine 30 coincides with, you might probably have to do a bit of drawing the triangles, putting your degrees, doing the opposite over hypotenuse implication before you get that. A calculator saves your time. You just pick up your calculator, punch it on your calculator, and you're good to go. And so what we have here is a Casio FX991 ES Plus calculator. It's a scientific calculator. So what makes a calculator scientific and the others normal? You can see on all other calculator, you tend to have the numbers and the simple operators in them. The simple mathematical operators being addition, multiplication, division, and subtraction. And then you can always estimate what it equals to, or you can always press the equal button and you are home and dry. But for a scientific calculator, it goes beyond just the normal operators that you have here at the bottom, which usually is seen with the white. You can see it's more of the white black buttons, while the scientific button operators are more of the black buttons with the white white inscriptions on them, so more like the inverse. And on the scientific calculator, operators possible include, you could find the square roots, you could square a value, you could also raise any value to any power you want to raise it to. So you want to raise it to power of 10, power of 5, power of 6, power of 8, you can always do that. We also have the logarithmic function, which is the log base to 10 for here. And then you have the ln function, which is based on the natural logarithm as well. You could find an inverse of a value here. You can see on the calculator is x raised to power minus 1. So you have a value, you want to find the inverse. You want to know what's the inverse of 5, what's the inverse of 100. You can also do that on a scientific calculator. Also, we have the trigonometric functions. You want to find the sine of an angle. You want to find the cosine of an angle. You want to find the tangent of an angle. And from the basic trigonometry, we remember the SOHCAHTOA. So the sine, opposite over hypotenuse of that angle, the cosine, adjacent over hypotenuse of the angle, and the tan, which is opposite over adjacent of the angle. But you don't have to worry about all of that, because the calculator can just do it for you quickly without even thinking. And so let's see some of the examples we could lay our hands on to put these operators into effect on our calculator, and how we can quickly get it sorted. The first one here is simple addition. We have 45 plus 79, which is a basic addition we do every day. And so you put on your calculator. Let me start from the. So right now it's in off mode. There's nothing on the screen. So you put it on. By the time you put it on, you should see a cursor blinking. That tells you the calculator is ready for action and it's good to go. So as a young high school student, if you want to do some addition, subtractions, or you want to square or find square root, we have a couple of examples here to help you do that. So what you simply do is you put your 45, your first number, 45, and then you select the right operator. This time we want to add. It's an addition operation, and we want to add 45 to 79. And then 124 pops up, which is the answer to that. So 45 plus 79, 124. And yeah, it's 124. If you want to do subtraction, on the other hand, we follow the same principle. We input the numbers that we want to perform the operation on, and the calculator just does the rest, really, basically. So here in the second example, it's 2,305 from 1,897. So we go to our calculator again. We ensure we clean up the previous operation. Always ensure the previous operation is cleaned out so you don't get to model things up a bit. Just be careful in that area. So once you're seeing your cursor again, it means the calculator is good to go, is ready. And then we want to have 2,305. We want to subtract 1,897 from 2,305. So 2,305 minus 1,897. Clearly on our calculator, and then we press the equal signs. It's equals to 408. So we've done a simple subtraction there. You can always do this to anything you want to subtract, really. You want to subtract 10 from 50. You want to subtract 1,050 from 4,080. Whatever the numbers are in your everyday application, that's just what you do. The next operator possible on our calculator is to square a particular number. So you have a number, you want to find the square of that number, which is basically that number times that same number. That's what squaring a number means. And so here in this example, we want to square 3. We want to find the square of 3, which also translates to 3 multiplied by 3. But we don't want to go through via the 3 multiplied by 3. We want to square it directly. And so, yeah, we have our number 3, and then we square. This is the square operator. And then we square it. And then we press the equal to, we have 9, which is the same value we got when we did 3 multiplied by 3. And so 3 squared is 9. So let's just say we don't want to square now. We want to have higher power more than 2. We want to raise 9 to the power of 4, which is very, very possible. And how do you do this on your calculator? The same thing. You press the number, make sure the cursor is back to its original position where it's blinking. You press 9, which is the number you want to raise to the power of 4. And on your calculator, you see this operator. This operator helps you to raise any number to any power you want to raise it to. So you push that operator. A box with a cursor comes up, and then you want to raise it to 4. And then we push 4. So we've inputted 9 raised to the power of 4, and our calculator does the rest, 6,561. And 6,561. So 9 raised to the power of 4 is 6,561. If you want to do the square root of a number, you want to find a number that you've multiplied. You have a smaller number you've multiplied by 2, or you've raised to the power of 2, and you want to find the square root of that number, of the bigger number now, of the outcome. How do you do that? On the scientific calculator, you have the square root button as well, which helps you to find the initial value of 2 numbers multiplied together, 2 similar numbers multiplied together to give you a larger number. So in our example, we want to find the square root of 144. We go to our calculator once again. We make sure it's back to its original state, and then we push the operator, which is the square root sign, and then we input the value 144, the equal sign. The answer is 12. So square root of 144 is 12. This same thing can also be done couple of in another way on the same calculator. You could do it either by raising it the same number to the power of half, because square roots means you're raising that number to the power of half, or you've raised it to the power of 0.5. 1/2 is the same as 0.5. So let's try that again using another operator on the same calculator now. This is the operator we are going to use now, which is the raised to power button. Don't forget, for the square root, this was the one we used. But this time around, we are going to be using this operator. So we have 144 this time around, raised to the power of 0.5. And then we still have 12, which is the same thing as the square root. So you can also use another operator to get the same thing for the square root. Another operator possible on the scientific calculator is the cube root. Cube root is when you have a number multiplied 3 times or raised to the power of 3 to give a final number. If you will now want to go back to the initial numbers, to the similar numbers which you multiply 3 times or which you raise to the power of 3, you have to find the cube root of that answer to go back to the original number. So let's find the cube root of 343. So we go to our calculator once again, 343. And this time around, we want to find the cube root. So just we start with the shift button, and that's the cube root sign. The cube root sign is the second function on the square root sign. So you have to press the shift button first to activate this operator, and then you put your value, which is 343. So the cube root of 343 is 7. What that simply means is when you multiply 7 3 times, you get 343 cube root. Or when you raise 7 raised to power 3, you get 343. So the cube root of 343 is 7. And in that way, our operator, our calculator, scientific calculator, has performed that function. Also, we could do some inverse function with our scientific calculator. So we want to find the inverse of a number, 500, 1000, whatever the number is. And it could be bigger than 5, 5 being a very simple number for this video. You could want to find an inverse of a very, very large number, and you don't want to do that manually, or just pick up your scientific calculator. This is the inverse function. And then just put in your number 5 and then press the inverse function. As you can see, it's already written 5 raised to power minus 1, which shows 1/5, and the value is 0.2. So the inverse of 5 is 0.2. You can also find the inverse of 25. 25 inverse and 0.04. So what that means is 1/25 is 0.04. 1/25 is 0.04. Also, you want to have some numbers in standard form, raised to power 3 times 10 raised to power 2, 5 times 10 raised to power 4, numbers in standard form, and you just want to quickly use a scientific calculator to estimate what it will be. You can also do that. This is down here. It's not with the black buttons with white inscription. It's with the white buttons inscribed with the black ink. And so 3 times 10 raised to power 2, which basically implies 10 raised to power 2 is 100. So 3 times 10 raised to power 2 would be 300. But then we can run that on our scientific calculator as usual. 3, just press the operator, times 10 raised to power 2, and 300 appears. So 5 times 10 raised to power 4. 10 raised to power 4 would be 10,000, and 5 times 10 raised to power 4 would be 50,000. But we don't want to go, you don't want to do that. Your calculator is there to make things easy. 5 times 10 raised to power 4. And yep, you have 50,000 with 4 zeros. 50,000. Also, our scientific calculator can help us with some trigonometric functions, sine, cosine, tan, that you just quickly want to estimate and find what figures it will come up with. So an example here is sine 30, which is quite common. Anybody that has taken trigonometric class has definitely run a sine, cosine, and tan manually. But then the scientific calculator can help us quickly estimate what that value would be. So sine 30, push the function, write the angle, and equal to. And so for the trigonometric function, you want to find what sine 30 would equate to, what cosine 60, and what tan 30 will equate to. Just simply press the operator and put the angle, and sine 30 is 0.5. Sine 30 is 0.5. Cos 60, which is cosine. Sine 30 is sine 30. Cos 60 is cosine 60. And tan 30 is a tangent of 30 degrees. You're finding the tangent of an angle of 30 degrees. So cosine 60, press the operator. You can see cos and 60. And then it should be 0.5 because sine 30 is the same as cosine 60. And if you want to find the tangent of angle 30, the operator is a tangent, tan, and 30. And then you have the value 0.5773. And yes, that will be all on this video. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to subscribe so you could get more updates and get more videos. Thank you. Bye bye.